Ahead on NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen.
On this week's special edition of NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen, a look at our favorite day in the life stories from across the country.
And now, a special edition of NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen with host Kevin Oxner.
Hello and welcome to this week's special edition of NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen. I'm Kevin Oxner. Thanks for joining us. Each week we have the opportunity to visit ranches all over the United States. And now we're taking a closer look at some of our favorite day-in-the-life stories.
Because I grew up with cow-calf herd, it's been a passion of mine. I just love that whole cycle of life with the cow-calf.
Larry Oberding will tell you that Washington is as good a place as any to raise cattle. He knows this firsthand, since he's the third generation of his family to live and work in this part of the Pacific Northwest.
Well, this has always been a diversified farm, some crops and some cattle. It's changed over the years. We used to be farmer feeders. Situation dictated to get in the cow-calf business in the early 60s.
Spring is a busy time for any cow-calf operator, but Larry's plate is fuller than most. In addition to leading the family operation, Larry serves as the president of the Washington Cattlemen's Association. This dual role means he spends a lot of time working the phone while he's working around his operation.
If you would have told me when I was 25 years old that I would ever own a briefcase, I would have laughed so hard. I would have never thought. I enjoy it, but the time away is difficult. But I think it's very important to continuance of this industry for people to participate and engage.
Lucky for Larry, he has a good support system in place to take care of the day-to-day chores when his duties as president take him away from the operation.
My wife and daughters, all of them, not only was it something that they knew I wanted to do when the chance came, they've been fully supportive and worked their tails off. I've had a tremendous support from my family to back me up, neighbors and friends that just everybody has really stepped up to allow me to help serve industry through this time.
Sometimes if like a cow gets out or if we need to feed babies, we're always here because it's really important to keep it going, and it's hard when Dad's away, but we do what we can to get it done.
Although ranching has always played a huge role in Larry's life, it was the sudden death of his father a couple of years ago that brought Larry back into the business full-time.
To keep the ranch going, it meant a change for me and my family, and it was the opportunity that I always wanted. Certainly not the way I wanted the opportunity, but my mom has been an absolute rock in all this. She just pretty well gave me free rein, take care of it. And I think because she knew, I grew up on this place and she knew it was something I wanted to do.
As you can imagine, Larry has a strong opinion about the death tax, given how hard he has fought to keep his operation intact after his father's passing. He's grateful for an organization like NCBA, which fights every day for the best interests of cattlemen just like him.
I see it as a moral issue. That those people have worked their tails off through their lifetime. They've built something up. They've decided to pass it on. And to think that somehow we need to be penalized on all those things that have been taxed a million times because we want to transfer it to the next generation, it just seems like completely criminal fraud to me. NCBA has people in Washington, D.C. I am someone that very much promotes being in contact with your legislators, national and state level. It's something I feel our industry's gotten better at. But if you don't have that backed up by an industry group that's there daily, kind of tracking those things, a lot of things happen that you wouldn't be aware of if you didn't have them there.
Larry has turned to social media to help spread the word about the positive aspects of the cattle industry. His blog, The Daily Cowman, offers an inside look at the life of a Washington cow-calf operator.
I'm proud of what I do. I want to share what I do daily, show people we're growing plant species, animal species, and at the same time, hopefully, being a profitable cattle situation. It's tough because the one thing that ranchers don't have enough of is time. I mean, your normal day takes a lot of time. But I think the biggest thing is people are fearful of that technological age. And I have said this to different groups in different speeches everywhere. Anybody who can raise cattle, who can deal with things like a uterine prolapse, they can open an email account or a Twitter account. They've got the intelligence and tenacity to do that. There's no doubt in my mind.
Larry's passion for his ranch and for the beef industry is easy to see, and he's proud to carry on the tradition established years ago by his dad and granddad.
I live in a house that my grandfather built. I worked the cows that came from cow families through the generations that my dad selected. I walked the ground that both of them worked and toiled on. You know, you can't really put that on a balance sheet, but you like put it here. I mean, I don't know how to explain it, but it's huge, and I miss them both every day, but I can feel them here all the time.
Reporting from Washington, I'm Brad Bullough for NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen.
As cattlemen, we're always looking for ways to add value to our product. One Colorado rancher uses a smart business model that adds value to his operation and his customers. Cattlemen to Cattlemen reporter Matt Fleck has more.
How blessed we are to live here and have a wonderful herd of cattle and a wonderful healthy family and a good place to raise them on.
Rancher Joey Friend runs a seed stock and cow-calf operation on the family homestead that his father bought 40 years ago. Today, their Running Creek Ranch has made its name with registered limousine cattle.
As our limousine herd grew, we built more pens and, always making changes, to make it more useful, more functional for the cattle. So we're always making improvements here and there.
Running Creek Ranch is one of the largest limousine breeders in North America. Joey and his friends focus on genetics and improving calf crop survival.
Watch the new genetics evolve, see how they're born and watch them grow up, and then that goes on to improving your genetics and making a new year of calves, and so that's the best part I enjoy is watching this develop. It's kind of like watching your family grow.
The bull calves Joey keeps for breeding stock are marketed both here and overseas. He says many foreign countries think the U.S. has the highest quality breeding stock available.
We market 2-year-old bulls, a little over 200 every year, in the Colorado area mainly and the surrounding state. We've sent bulls to Mexico as well as Canada, sent semen to Australia, working on a deal to send semen to Great Britain. It gets involved. The world's becoming a smaller place in the cattle industry.
Joey puts as much effort into developing his relationship with customers as he does in developing his herd.
It's so true that, the service is just as much as well as just selling the product of a bull. Anybody can buy a bull, but I think what really, you need a relationship with your customer, and with that relationship you can give him more services and give him more value to his calves, to his operation.
Customers like what Joey calls his bull retirement program. It's the kind of win-win agreement that cattlemen are known for.
We've always had a agreement with our customers, or a service, where they could return any bull that they wanted. The way our service works, they can bring that bull back anytime. And then we gather those bulls, and then they are sent to Laura's Lean Beef and harvested for Laura's Lean Beef's ground beef program. By doing that, they have a good premium on their bulls that they will go into harvest. So it just adds some more value for that bull at the time that bull is up for retirement.
As part of its customer service commitment, Running Creek also helps producers find the best market for their cattle.
There's a lot of different niche markets or program kind of cattle, And so there's guys looking for those sort of calves. And so if we have a bull customer that we know has a set of calves and he needs some help or would like some help on getting those marketed, we try to hook them up with the right relation where they can get them marketed to their best they can.
While Joey is taking care of his customers and cattle, he says he's grateful that the National Cattlemen's Beef Association is taking care of him. He says NCBA's work on Capitol Hill is critical.
They are such an important part of our business. You know, we got laws that come in or they're trying to put into effect that can be real detrimental to the cattle industry. And so we need the NCBA to represent us and to read all the details that get lost in the shuffle so many times that you know, the average person wouldn't even hear about till maybe it was too late.
Reporting from Elizabeth, Colorado, I'm Matt Fleck for NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen.
Join cattlemen like Joey Friend as a member of the National Cattlemen's Beef Association. It's easy to do. Call us at 1-866-USA-BEEF or visit us online at beefusa.org. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
When it's time to choose a tractor, look for quality that stands the test of time. Reliability that can carry you through the tough times. Resale value you can bank on down the road. From one brand that's been working the land for more than 170 years, all backed by the finest dealer network around. John Deere. Nothing runs like a deer.
NCBA members may qualify for special discounts of up to $400 on select John Deere hay equipment. See your John Deere dealer for details.
From Iraq and Afghanistan, our brave warriors are coming home, wounded. Some with wounds you can see, some with wounds you can't see. Wounded Warrior Project was created to support our men and women coming off the battlefield. Please help carry these warriors the rest of the way home. Get involved at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Assuring beef quality begins with dedicated people such as Phoebe Bittler, a dairy producer, and Jim Warren, a cattle auction market owner. Both are winners of the Beef Checkoff-funded National Beef Quality Assurance Award, and both recognize the need for the entire industry to focus on beef quality.
We've tried to put our best foot forward and try to see that the product that we send out of this country is the most wholesome, safest, best product that anybody could have anywhere. And to be complimented for that effort is an amazing experience.
It's all important, and I think there's some really good protocols laid out in the Beef Quality Assurance Program that will help producers to do the best job that they can do.
Producers across the nation have embraced the BQA program because they're committed to producing the world's best beef. To find out how you can compete for the BQA National Awards, visit the website bqa.org.
Welcome back. In western Kansas, one cow-calf operator is looking towards the future, both in terms of his herd and his marketing plan. Reporter Brian Baxter has more from Sharon Springs, Kansas.
This is called the Harrison Flats.
Mark Smith is always looking down the road, whether it's out his windshield,
Drive an average 200 miles a day, going to different properties,
or forecasting his operations business plan.
Them cattle have done really well, Mark.
I'm able to take the information that I have and come up with a plan that balances my crops with my livestock operations, and I can integrate all that into a strategic plan that allows me to get the best return on my investment.
Mark is a third-generation rancher and second-generation president of the Kansas Livestock Association. In his leadership position, Mark helps other ranchers to grow their business.
We have to have an association like National Cattlemen's Beef Association and our state associations like Kansas Livestock Association that will enhance and provide a better business climate. And our number one goal for all of our associations is to increase consumer demand.
His motto is to always leave something better than he found it.
To be a good member of association, you need to make that association better. You need to make a difference, not for only what that association can do for you, but what you can do for your association.
His philosophy carries over to his ranch, where Mark is an avid conservationist.
We look at taking care of our land and raising a great quality food product for our consumers to eat, to go hand in hand.
Mark's goal is twofold. He strives to maximize the profits from his property while improving its environmental value.
So I'll stock my cattle, my grass, early and intensive, market them in July, get off that grass for a few months. That allows me to have a better drought policy on my grass and have better root reserves so that I can drought-proof some of my grass.
For over 25 years, Mark has collaborated with the Natural Resources Conservation Service to develop plans for his ranch.
I want a very sustainable, environmentally sound land that I can make a living off of, that's pleasing to look at, and also has an abundant resource of wildlife.
We've implemented grazing systems on that ranch, put pipelines and tanks in. I believe we did some cross fencing up there, as well as a livestock windbreak for winter protection, and that was just under the first program.
Mark shares his conservation concepts on social media, another nod to his forward-thinking mindset. He documents life on a cattle ranch on his Facebook page.
So I've been able to take the two hobbies, passion of photography and my passion to be an advocate for our industry, and meld them together. Boy, there's a couple nice bucks with some big racks.
For Mark, taking care of his ranch and raising a great quality beef product for consumers is his life's work.
I want them to see the passion that we have for the land, passion we have for the cattle, passion we have for the environment, and how bringing safe, consistent supply of food to the American consumer is what we love to do.
You can check out Mark and his operation on Facebook. Just search for Pleasant Valley Ranch. Tucked away in Northern Virginia is an operation where cattle, horses, and crops all share the land. Cattleman to Cattleman reporter Dave Russell has more from Lazy Lane Farm.
It's a little different every day. Everything changes with the seasons. You get a fresh crop of foals every year, a fresh crop of calves, a fresh crop of just about everything.
We run 70 spring calving cows, 70 fall calving cows. So there's always something going on, always calving and checking the cattle real quick in the morning and the health of those, the rotation of our forage program, and then the cropping, wheat, soybean, rotation with all the hay we need for the horse operation and the cattle.
On this 1,800-acre farm in Northern Virginia, cattle share the land with top-notch thoroughbred horses. It's a diverse operation that works well for General Manager Frank Shipp and Cattle Manager Jim Wiley.
Well, having them all together, it allows us to run an integrated operation here on the farm and use the land really for what it's intended to be used for and what it has its best use for. And rotating cattle in and out of the horse fields is good for the land, and producing good top quality beef is also important to us.
I love being diverse, and that makes everything interesting. You know, there's certain land better for the horses, and then this rougher mountain land at the foothills here is much better for cattle. And the middle land is our crop ground, and it all works well together. I like the variety.
Lazy Lane Farm is home to a registered Angus seed stock herd, and with careful management, the Angus genetics have been continually improving.
every year it's a little harder to get a top group picked out. We're getting the quality up that much. It used to be you only had a few good ones and you had a few bad ones and you had to sort through the middle, but now it's we have good bulls all the way through.
Jim Wiley believes the secret to success at Lazy Lane is not only the quality of their cattle, but their commitment to customer service.
We got environmental adaptability, disposition. These cows like this country right here, and got a lot of repeat buyers. The cattle are pretty trouble-free. We've eliminated a lot of the problems and a lot of the hassles. They do, they're real set of forage cows. They do well on grass, and not a whole lot of supplement or hand care.
With the most recent fall calving season, there was a big surprise at Lazy Lane, a very rare, healthy set of triplet Angus heifer calves.
I seen a cow had a calf. I knew the calf wasn't up to size, and she was looking back in the trees, so I figured there was a twin. I told her, I'll go get your other half, and when I went to get the other, I figured a twin. She had two back there, and she had them all cleaned and fed by the time I found her, and everything's going well so far.
Jim says the triplet heifers are healthy and thriving and got a whole lot of attention.
Everybody got a little farmer in them, and when something like that comes along, they all want a picture and ask about how the girls are doing.
Beyond the Angus triplets, Lazy Lane is well known for its champion thoroughbred horses, including Hansel, a horse with real heart who made a big impact on the racing circuit a few years back.
He was champion 3-year-old colt of 1991, won 2/3 of the Triple Crown, the Preakness, and the Belmont. Started favorite for the Derby, but didn't run a particularly good race that day. But he earned almost $3 million. He's now 23 years old, and he'll be here for as long as he lives.
Cattle, horses, and crops. It's a combination that works for Lazy Lane, and they rely on organizations like NCBA for information and education to help their growing beef business.
That is a group which is dedicated to producing top quality beef animals and doing things the right way. And so to be able to participate and be a member of that also gives us a chance to operate at top efficiency.
Reporting from Upperville, Virginia, I'm Dave Russell for NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen.
Did you know the chances of having triplet calves is only 1 in 700,000? We're glad to hear they're doing well. Ahead on NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen, I talk with Colorado Governor John Hickenlooper about the importance of agriculture in Colorado. We'll be right back.
Join America's cattle industry for the 2011 Summer Conference in Orlando, Florida. It's a great opportunity to meet your fellow cattlemen and women, plus spend time planning for the future of your operation and our great industry. Bring the whole family and join us in Orlando, Florida for the 2011 Cattle Industry Summer Conference, August 1st through 4th. For details, call 1-866-USA-BEEF or visit us at beefusa.org. We'll see you there.
Purina's wind and rain minerals are research tested and field proven to provide balanced mineral nutrition essential for cattle health, growth, and reproduction. They're highly palatable so cattle consume what they need when they need it. And wind and rain minerals special formulation resists the elements so they won't blow out of the feeder and maintain their palatability even if they've been wet. Wind and rain cattle minerals from Purina Mills, building better cattle.
Welcome back. The heart of America's cattle feeding industry can be found in Texas, and Cactus Feeders has grown into one of the world's largest cattle feeding operations. Reporter Dave Russell takes a look at where Cactus Feeders started and where it's going.
It's just after sunup in Cactus, Texas, and it seems you can see a mile over the vast pens as cattle are delivered their first meal of the day at Cactus Feeders. Since its founding in 1975, Cactus Feeders has grown into a company with about 500 employees. Mike Engler is president and CEO.
Cattle feeding came to Texas in about the 60s and the 70s. And it came here from cattle feeders moving here from other parts of the country. My father was one of them, came from Nebraska. From that original feed yard acquisition of Cactus Feeders, my father and his partner then started acquiring other feed yards here in Texas. At one time we had a feed yard in Colorado. Today we've got 7 feed yards in Texas and 3 in southwest Kansas.
Mike came back to the company about 20 years ago from a different career path.
I was actually a research scientist. I have a PhD from Johns Hopkins University and was doing research at the University of Texas and also some pharmaceutical work with American Cyanamid when I came back to join the family company.
Though the cattle pens dominate most of the land area here, the feed mill is the heart of the feed yard.
We feed nearly 2 million pounds of feed every day, make it in our feed mill and feed it to the cattle. We feed the cattle 3 times a day, and they're here probably 175 to 180 days on average. We check them for health every day. Obviously, a feed mill and feed yard can be a dangerous place to work. So safety, our safety culture is really, really important to us. Safety to us is paramount.
The company's history and tradition began with the feed yard, but this site is also the location of a groundbreaking research facility.
We do custom contract trials mostly for pharmaceutical companies, but also for feeding companies, where we do large-scale, real-world pen trials for new feed ingredients, new animal health products, etc. So this particular feed yard, in addition to having that customer bent, this also has this research application here that I think really makes this yard probably one of the most unique in the world.
At the end of last year, Cactus Feeders became a 100% employee-owned company, an event that Mike says gave employees even more of an investment in their work.
That means that all the people that work here, they actually own the cattle, they own the facilities, they own the trucks, they own the loaders, they own the bobcats, etc. So the people working the equipment can have, and we try to instill in them, a real pride of ownership because it's theirs.
Mike says careful and constant management of the feed yards and their surroundings is crucial to keep the cattle comfortable and the local environment safe.
You'll see some tremendously high burns that are protecting the creek from the feed yard. And a tremendous amount of work being done there. We also make sure that our land application follows all the rules, and we own a lot of land surrounding us. So we not only get to grow a lot of our own silage, etc., but we also have the ability to dewater our lagoons, etc., in a very responsible manner here from the feed yard. We also have a lot of composting that we do so that we can move our manure greater distances from the feed yard. So a lot of things go into environmental stewardship, and certainly I don't know anybody in the Texas Panhandle and the Texas cattle feeders that doesn't take their environmental responsibility very seriously.
Mike is a past chairman of the Texas Cattle Feeders Association and is a firm believer in the value of producers joining together to take on common challenges.
It's an outstanding organization, and it all starts with the staff, and that starts with Ross Wilson and the rest of the guys that he trusts on that staff. Their credibility and what the job they do for the Texas cattle feeders is fantastic.
Mike believes the combination of tradition, innovation, environmental awareness, and pride are helping his operation adapt and keep pace with the industry's rapid and profound changes.
I don't want to see this feed yard with empty pens. So I think our industry, and I'm confident that the producers, the cow-calf guys in this country, are savvy enough businessmen that they will see an opportunity and give us a few more bred cows. I'm not looking for a huge expansion. I don't want them to wreck their own market by over-expanding, but we need to stabilize our cow herd and maybe get back into the game, because the world needs protein. And we have a lot of resources here in the United States that says we could be producing beef to fill that need.
Reporting from Cactus Feeders in Cactus, Texas, I'm Dave Russell for NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen.
Join cattlemen like Mike Engler as a member of the National Cattlemen's Beef Association. Joining is easy. Just give us a call at 1-866-USA-BEEF or visit us online at beefusa.org. Colorado rancher W.D. Farr dedicated his life to improving agriculture, feeding livestock, and managing our precious water resources. Each year, the National Cattlemen's Foundation recognizes Farr's contribution to our industry with a scholarship that's given to graduate students dedicated to continuing his legacy. Cattleman to Cattleman reporter Sharon Alseth heads to Fort Collins, Colorado to catch up with one of the first winners of this prestigious award.
My passion developed through meat product evaluation. Even as a young child, I enjoyed barbecuing and grilling and eating meat, and so my passion really grew from that. And now what I do is I have the opportunity to make sure that those products do eat very well, they do taste good, and ultimately that they're safe for our consumers.
Colorado State University's Dr. Dale Warner says he's very grateful to the late W.D. Farr, a cattleman he never met.
I didn't know a whole lot about W.D. Farr before moving to Colorado, but here in agriculture and here at CSU, he's truly a legend, not only in beef cattle production or meat production, but also in water management and ag resource management.
Dale is a 2007 recipient of the W.D. Farr Scholarship. It's a $12,000 stipend given to grad students in the animal science, environmental science, or agricultural field. Dale carries on Farr's cattle industry efforts through research in red meat quality, shelf life stability, and beef safety.
Agriculture is something that we all love in this field, and we want to make sure that that's sustainable and profitable in every way. And a big part of that is by making sure that the end product is good and ultimately safe.
Dale teaches several classes in animal science and meat science. He focuses on the issues that impact producers and consumers.
I get to share my learning experiences with students and help them by teaching them and helping them to make a difference in our industry, and ultimately, pass that back to producers and allow them to be profitable.
Dale works with his CSU students to build a successful meat science program. Their commitment to the beef industry and to Farr's legacy is to improve food safety and increase consumer trust.
Agriculture is something that is obviously instrumental and crucial to our livelihood, and the more students that we can put out in that field and producing high quality, safe products to eat, the happier I'll be in 10 to 20 years, so it'd be great.
Dale says the Farr Fellowship brings even greater rewards through the people he meets outside the university.
In addition to the monetary award was the opportunity to go to National Cattlemen's Beef Association convention or annual convention, and to really get to know a lot of people, not only at NCBA but also in National Cattlemen's Foundation, and was able to make tremendous contacts, and doing that, contacts that I still deal with today in my job in academia. And so those experiences have proven to be just as, if not more valuable than the actual fellowship itself. So it was really a great experience all the way around.
Reporting from Colorado State University, I'm Sharon Alseth for NCBA's Cattleman to Cattleman.
If you or someone you know is interested in applying for the W.D. Farr Scholarship, you can find all the information you need on our website at cattlemantocattleman.org.
Draxxin, clearly cattlemen's #1 choice to fight BRD. Here's why.
Nothing is more depressing in a stalker business as the doctor, and you still have your chronics, you still have your death loss. Man, with Draxxin, we just found out that, especially with microplasts, you just had to be there to see the results.
And the evidence backs up what most cattlemen already know. Draxxin cuts chronics and mortalities by 70%. So talk to your veterinarian and check the online calculator at Draxxin.com. You'll see, nothing gives you more for your money when you're fighting BRD.
Just a great antibiotic.
Very, very effective. Don't let the price tag scare you. It's a no-brainer. You just use it.
Do not use in female dairy cattle 20 months of age or older. Do not use in calves to be processed for veal. Draxxin has a pre-slaughter withdrawal time of 18 days. Please visit Draxxin.com or call 1-888-DRAXXIN for more information.
Welcome back. We all know ranching is a full-time job, but some producers enjoy double duty, working both on and off the farm. Cattleman to Cattleman reporter Brian Baxter has more on how the owners of North Mountain Cattle Company in Churchville, Virginia, make it all work.
A lot of people in agriculture, in my opinion, once you've kind of grown up in that atmosphere, it's very difficult to leave it. It's really truthfully a lifestyle and not a job.
It's a frigid morning in Northern Virginia, and Allison Wenther and her fiancé, Bobby Bagley, are out early checking on cows and calves. Together, they're building a successful purebred Angus operation that covers 400 acres in the beautiful Shenandoah Valley.
Anyone can do this if your heart and your mind is in it. It's an attainable goal. It's some days you really want to throw in the towel. When the banknotes due and you're fighting drought, you know, you're thinking about having to pay the feed bills, but you usually give it a day or two and your attitude changes and you know, it all works out. But you've got to stay with it and stay after it.
Like many young couples in agriculture these days, Allison and Bobby both have jobs off the ranch.
Get to the farm around 7. If there's no major catastrophes or anything that has to be addressed that day, then I'm usually off to work and there from 9 to 6 and come home and back to the farm.
I feel very lucky that I can do both. Obviously, farming in my background is very important to me, and I can continue to do that here and work a full-time job, which is also very important to me. And so many folks out there today have to do both in order to make things and to succeed in the long run. And I'm very thankful that I get to do both in the cattle business, which is very unique in a lot of circumstances.
Allison grew up on a row crop and cow-calf operation in Iowa, and these days she's balancing her own farm duties while representing the interests of America's cattlemen and women.
My other full-time job is I work for the National Cattlemen's Beef Association. I've recently changed positions in the last few months, and now I'm working on the policy side of things, specifically with large companies, post-packer, and working with them on product council happenings throughout the course of the year.
Allison believes it's important for women in agriculture to have a voice.
I think young women in agriculture are a critical component to moving us forward as a beef industry as a whole. You know, we in the past have had such a lucky lifestyle, so to say, living in farms and ranches across the country for so many years. And now you see young women in agriculture taking a new role, working into the business aspects.
Allison's quite the strong marketing voice. She helps quite a bit. We bounce ideas off of each other all the time. And with her experiences with other producers and whatnot, that helps too, because just some of the feedback that I get. You know, it opens ideas and gives you information from other sources that you obviously wouldn't be readily available to you otherwise.
Allison's career with NCBA gives her valuable information about trends in the beef industry. She combines her industry insight with her operation experience to help plan the North Mountain Cattle Company's business strategy.
My experience in the retail and food service business with the National Cattlemen's Beef Association has been very beneficial for us here at North Mountain Cattle Company. Knowing what the consumers desire and want is definitely what we strive for on a daily basis. We know to continue in this industry, we have to produce items that our consumers want to purchase. Oh, definitely. We will continue, both of us continue to be in agriculture, specifically with the cattle business, on a personal and on a business note.
Reporting from Churchville, Virginia, I'm Brian Baxter for NCBA's Cattleman to Cattleman.
Join Bobby and Allison as members of the National Cattlemen's Beef Association. To do so, give us a call at 1-866-USA-BEEF or visit us at beefusa.org. It's an investment in the future of our industry. Beef safety is an issue that's key to growing demand for beef. At Colorado State University, researchers are working to develop new ways to detect issues long before they reach consumers. Cattleman to Cattleman reporter Sharon Alseth has more from Fort Collins, Colorado.
We're doing what we can in the lab here to make your lives as producers easier and to facilitate your goals for safe food production. meat safety and food safety is everyone's responsibility. And for us to continue to improve the safety of the meat supply and the food supply in general in the United States, then we need to keep doing research and keep looking for solutions that can basically help us further control pathogens in the food supply.
Colorado State University's Dr. Kendra Nightingale and her graduate students are finding and tracking the diseases that affect the beef industry.
We use a variety of different approaches to understand how pathogens move from pre-harvest food production systems, how they're transmitted within a food processing plant, and eventually transmitted to humans. If we know those things, we can better combat them at various levels. The small molecule work that we're doing, we're looking to apply those molecules from farm to fork and really decrease the load of this pathogen and really allow food producers to produce safe food.
This team knows the importance of food safety for both producers and consumers.
It's an unacceptable risk to basically purchase a food, bring that home to your kitchen and think I may die from eating this food.
I grew up raising cattle. I grew up 10 feet away from the house, or the cattle would lay down about 10 feet away from the outside of my bedroom window, just because the fence was so close to the edge of the house. So it's like I grew up around that type of stuff. So actually seeing it being able to be applicable to them, or to cattle producers, I guess it makes my research feel like it's really worthwhile.
The researchers are studying potential problem areas within the production chain. Clyde is looking for E. coli in grazing pastures.
We've never really looked at those environments before. We've looked at feedlots and carcasses that go into slaughter. So I think that's going to be very valuable for the beef industry, because it might track down if there are any environmental sources of contamination, and if there are any aspects of ranching that might be contributing to disease incidents.
We're using cutting-edge tools from basic sciences, and we're trying to figure out a way to apply those to improve food safety. So it can be a range of things: how we can detect these pathogens faster, hopefully prevent contaminated food products, whether they're beef products or anything from beef to produce, from actually entering the marketplace.
The team is investigating different products and treatments that go with producers' existing practices.
We're really looking for new approaches to complement existing approaches and strategies to control foodborne pathogens, whether it's at the pre-harvest level, at the harvest level, or even as it moves up the chain and makes its way into the consumer's home.
The work at Colorado State is a good example of partnerships within the beef industry. It demonstrates the importance of the industry working toward the same goals of food safety and increasing consumer confidence.
I think we've made significant strides through support of organizations such as NCBA and other beef industry organizations to reduce pathogens in the beef supply over the past 10 years.
We all have to have a safe food supply, and we need to keep doing this research that we do here so we can continuously ensure that safe food supply.
Reporting from Colorado State University, I'm Sharon Alseth for NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen.
Stay with us. Our good friend Baxter Black is up next.
Comprehensive, practical, powerful. Now's the time to put the power of DNA to work in your herd with the comprehensive Identity Profile. The inside information from Identity can help you make more confident replacement heifer and herd sire selection decisions, add marketability to your feeder cattle, make faster genetic progress, and more. The best time to get started is when you're already working cattle, during branding, weaning, or bull soundness exams. Get started today. Visit iGenity.com or call 1-877-IGENITY to put the power of DNA to work in your herd.
I'm Kevin Ochsner, host of NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen. Join me Tuesday nights at 8:30 Eastern right here on RFD TV.
We know who made that hitch. We know who cut the steel, who milled the ball, and who welded the seams. We know who tested, measured, and checked. We even know who thought the whole thing up. We're B&W, and we know your hitch. Because we don't make them halfway around the world. We make them all right here. B&W. Trusted.
Seasons change, but year in, year out, year round, it's Crystalix season. With specific supplements for weaning stress in fall. Protein for pre-calving in winter. Calving in spring. And minerals and fly control in summer. For low-cost per-head per-day supplements, every season is Crystalix season.
Whoa. I know you've probably asked yourself, what's Christmas to a cow? You've not? Well, maybe just perchance it got you thinking now. When we march out on Christmas morn like nothing's going on, as Yuletide struck the night before and disappeared by dawn, or plastic sleeves a-hanging up around the cabin shed, did visions of protein blocks cavort inside her head? And did she lay awake at night tensed up, anticipating, or in excitement milk her bed by accident while waiting? The cows pretend to be just cows devoid of all intrigues, but really lead a secret life like women's bowling leagues. Did we dismiss the mistletoe? Did all the clues elude us? Does she believe in Santa Claus or just Santa Gertrudis? And if we looked, would we see sign of reindeer in the pen? Or would we just convince ourselves the goat got out again? And after we'd all gone to bed, would they join in a hymn and sing that little manger song they learned in Bethlehem? Away in the manger, no crib for a bed, the little Lord Jesus lay down his sweet head. The stars in the sky looked down where he laid. The little Lord Jesus asleep right there in the hay. Well, I guess it don't matter much if cows believe or not. We'll fork her out a flake of hay and head back in a trot to celebrate our Christmas day and all that we espouse. And when we say our dinner grace, we'll thank him for the cows, for the livelihood they give us, and the life we get to share. But do the cows have Christmas cheer? Who knows? But just beware. If you see chicken tracks among the straw and drying chips, you better check suspicious cows for eggnog on their lips. This is Baxter Black from out there.
Thanks, Baxter, and we'll be right back.
Education, networking, opportunity, and fun. That's what you'll find at the 2012 Cattle Industry Annual Convention and NCBA Trade Show in Nashville, Tennessee. Get your ticket to ride with your fellow cattlemen and women in the country music capital of the world. You'll find cutting-edge education, top-of-the-line technology, and entertainment that can't be beat. Don't miss your ticket to ride to the Cattle Industry Annual Convention and Trade Show in Nashville, Tennessee, February 1st through the 4th, 2012. For more information, visit beefusa.org.
Quality matters to me because I love my family. I want to raise my family here like generations before me. My family has always worked together and played together. We have always laughed together and cried together. My family is my life. Careful stewardship of the animals and resources that are under my care benefits my family. They live where I work and eat the same food that I produce. I'm proud of what we'll do here today.
Welcome back. Let's take a look at your farm and ranch pictures from across the country in this week's Legacy Photos. We love seeing those photos, so please keep sending them in. To do so, visit our website at cattlementocattlemen.org. Thanks for joining us for this week's special edition of NCBA's Cattlemen to Cattlemen. We'll see you right back here next week on RFD TV.